Imagine this situation. You are talking in English, and someone asks you a simple question. You understand the question, but the answer does not come immediately because you need a few seconds to think. For a moment, there is a pause in your mind, and it feels like the conversation has stopped.
And this is completely normal. The same thing happens when we speak our native language. We also stop for a second sometimes to find the right words or to organize our thoughts.
But in our native language, these pauses almost never sound like silence. We usually use small sounds or short words automatically. For example, we say things like, well, or let me see, and the conversation continues.
These small words fill the pause and make it sound natural. The other person hears that you are thinking, so the conversation does not stop. The same thing happens in English.
You just need to know a few short phrases that do the same job. They help you get a few seconds to think and continue the conversation calmly. That is exactly what we will talk about today.
In one of our previous episodes, we promised to show how to get a few seconds to think without creating an awkward pause. Today, we're going to keep that promise and look at a few simple techniques.
By the way, if you are listening for the first time, you are on the podcast Easy English Podcast, Natural Listening. Here we talk about real conversation situations and show simple ways to speak more naturally in English.
My name is John, and in every episode, we discussed one small problem that people often have in spoken English. We try to explain everything with simple examples that you can use in real conversations.
And my name is Sophia. Today's topic is how to get a few seconds to think when someone asks you a question and the answer does not come immediately.
Let's start with our first example. Imagine that a friend asks you a simple question. What kind of food do you like the most? The question is easy, but sometimes people still need a few seconds to decide what they want to say. If a person stays silent for a few seconds and then gives a very short answer like, I like Italian food, the reply can sound a little abrupt. The meaning is clear, but the conversation does not feel very smooth. Now, let's see how a more natural answer might sound. Good question. Let me think for a second. Well, I think I like Italian food the most. Pizza and pasta are probably my favorites.
At the beginning of the answer, you can hear short thinking phrases. These phrases show that the person is thinking and looking for words. They give you a few seconds of time. After this short moment, the answer sounds calmer and more natural. The conversation does not break because the other person hears that you are still speaking.
Now let's look at another situation. Imagine that someone asks you, what do you like to do in the evening? This question is quite general, so sometimes it is helpful to clarify it first. In this situation, you can ask a short clarification question. For example, do you mean tonight or usually? This helps you understand exactly what the person is asking.
This kind of question has two advantages. It helps you understand the question better, and at the same time, it gives you a few seconds to think about your answer. After that, you can continue the conversation calmly and give a fuller answer.
For example, your answer might sound like this. Usually, I watch some videos, read something, or talk with my friends in the evening. This answer sounds natural because there was a short pause and a small clarification before it. The conversation continues smoothly without awkward silence.
There is another useful technique that can also give you a little time to think. Sometimes you can ask a follow-up question that adds a new detail to the conversation. For example, if someone asks you, where would you like to travel someday? You could answer like this. That depends. What kind of budget are we talking about?
That answer sounds completely natural. In real life, people often ask about details before they give a final answer. And while the other person answers your question, you have time to think about what you want to say next.
Now let's quickly look at the main tools that we used in these examples. They are all very simple, but they work very well in conversation.
The first tool is thinking phrases. These are short expressions like, let me think, or, good question. They show that you are thinking about your answer.
The second tool is the small word, well. Many answers in spoken English start with this word because it helps you begin your idea gently.
The third tool is a clarification question. For example, do you mean tonight or usually? This kind of question helps you understand the situation better.
And the fourth tool is a follow-up question. For example, what kind of budget are we talking about? This question adds more detail to the conversation and get a little more time.
All of these techniques help you get a few seconds when you need to think. Because of that, the conversation sounds more natural and relaxed.
Now let's try a short practice. Imagine that someone asks you this question: what country would you like to visit someday? Sometimes a question like this takes a moment to answer.
One possible answer could start with a short thinking phrase. For example, well, let me think. After that, you can continue your answer calmly. I think I would really like to visit Japan someday. I've heard it's a very interesting country and the food looks amazing.
In this example, the small phrase at the beginning gives you a few seconds to think. After that, the answer sounds calm and natural.
If you try using these phrases in real conversations, you will notice that pauses stop feeling awkward. You have time to organize your thoughts.
Let's quickly review the main ideas from this episode. If you need a few seconds to think, you can use short thinking phrases.
You can start your answer with the word well to move smoothly into your idea. It's a very simple but very useful trick.
If the question feels too general, you can ask a clarification question. This helps you understand the situation better.
And sometimes you can ask a follow-up question to add more detail to the conversation and get a little more time.
All of these techniques help you think calmly before you answer. Because of that, your speech sounds more natural.
If you enjoy this kind of practice, subscribe to the podcast Easy English Podcast, Natural Listening.
In the next episode, we will talk about another common situation
What to do when a conversation starts to slow down.
and how to keep the conversation going when you are not sure what to say next.